Hello, my name is William Lorenzo, and I'm presenting today on Rembrandt van Rijn. Rembrandt was born in Leiden, Netherlands on July 15th, 1606. His father was a miller. Even though his family wasn't the richest of families, his parents still made sure he got a good education. By the age of 14, he enrolled at the University of Leiden to then find out that school wasn't his main thing, so he left to go study art not too long after that. When he first left school, he went to go study art with a local master named Jacob van Swanenberg. After studying with Jacob, he moved on to go study in Amsterdam with Peter Lastman, who was known for his historical paintings. After 6 months in Amsterdam, he had mastered everything he was taught and moved back to Leiden. When he moved back to Leiden, he was so highly regarded at 22 years old that he took in his first students and started a school. He moved to Amsterdam in 1631 and married Saskia van Eulenburg in 1634. His wife's cousin, Hendrik Eulenburg, was a successful art dealer who helped Rembrandt really enhance his career. This art dealer would put Rembrandt in contact with wealthy patrons who were eager for portraits. A good example of this would be the portrait of Nicolaas Roots. Here you can see the portrait that he did. Rembrandt was known for more than just his portraits. His mythological and religious works were in high demand. Another one of his highly regarded works is The Blinding of Samson. Here you could see. In 1639, Rembrandt purchased a new townhouse in Amsterdam at the age of 33. In this house is where most of Rembrandt's works were created. This house ended up being the scene of a horrific event where his wife and three of his children died in his house. After all this happens, Rembrandt goes bankrupt and was forced to put an inventory of his art and his house up for auction. His house is now a museum that they use in the Netherlands to just show his art, which is pretty cool. After all these terrible things that had happened to him, he produced some of his best works, which included The Jewish Bride, The Syndics of the Cloth Guild, Jacob blessing the sons of Joseph. This is The Jewish Bride. The Syndics of the Cloth Guild. Jacob blessing the sons of Joseph. Towards the end of his life, he had a couple more tragedies. In 1663, his son Hendrik died in 1663. In 1668, his last son Titus died at the age of 27. On October 4th, 1669, Rembrandt died in Amsterdam. Here's a little video that I'm going to show you guys about Rembrandt.
Hey, I've worked with Adobe and I've created a tutorial that will show you how to showcase one of your projects. Rembrandt was a 17th century painter and etcher whose work dominated the Dutch Golden Age. Rembrandt's most remarkable works are seen in his portraits of his contemporaries, illustrations of biblical scenes and self-portraits, as well as his innovative etchings and the use of shadow and light. Born in Leiden in the Netherlands in 1606, Rembrandt Harmenzoon van Rijn attended elementary school from 1612 to 1616, and then attended the Latin school in Leiden. Rembrandt trained as an artist under two masters. His first was painter Jacob van Swanenberg, 1571 to 1638. Van Swanenberg specialized in scenes of hell and the underworld, and was a likely influence on Rembrandt's later work. Rembrandt's second teacher was Peter Lastman, 1583 to 1633, who was a well-known historical painter. In 1625, Rembrandt settled back in Leiden, now a master in his own right, and over the next 6 years he laid the foundations for his life's work. Rembrandt's paintings created at this time were generally small, but rich in detail. Religious and allegorical themes were prominent. Rembrandt also worked on his first etchings in 1626 in Leiden, and his eventual international fame would rely on the widespread dissemination of these works. Diverging from his contemporaries, Rembrandt endowed his etchings with a painterly quality, achieved through a suggestive handling of light and dark. Rembrandt's style soon took an innovative turn involving his use of light. His new style left large areas of his paintings obscured in shadow. Through his interpretation, illumination grew rapidly weaker as it extended into the painting, creating spots of brightness and pockets of deep darkness. In this vein, in 1629, Rembrandt completed Judas Repentant and Returning the Pieces of Silver, among others. Another example is his Peter and Paul Disputing in 1628, in which the painting's lighted elements are clustered together and surrounded by clusters of darker tones, drawing the viewer's eye to a general focal point before moving in to observe the details within. He began to paint dramatic, large-scale biblical and mythological scenes using a high contrast method, such as The Blinding of Samson and Danae in 1636. In Amsterdam he also painted numerous commissioned portraits with the help of various assistants in Uhlenberg's shop. In the 10 years following the unveiling of the Night Watch, Rembrandt's overall artistic output diminished drastically, and he produced no painted portraits. Often blamed for Rembrandt's supposed downfall are the death of his wife and the supposed rejection of the Night Watch by those who commissioned it. It has been put forth that Rembrandt's crisis may have been an artistic one, that he had seen his methods stretched to their practical limits, and the variations in his few paintings from 1642 to 1652, the period that marks the beginning of what is usually referred to as Rembrandt's late style, might have been seen as a sign that he was searching for a new way forward.
Thank you for watching.